Hello, today I'm going to show you what happens if you remove resource for specific task or any task which has some progress and why you should not do it. Okay, now we have John. John is assigned to task which has 4 days duration. Let's switch immediately to task usage view. We are going to view, to task usage. We are going to scroll to the task, and we can see that he is supposed to work 8 hours per day, and that's great. Now I'm going to make this task as 50% completed, and that's it. Now, let's say that John left the company. You can see that I added percentage of complete in the task usage view. So what happens if I remove John from a task? Let's go. I'm going to use this method. I'm going to choose the task. I'm going to choose resource. I will choose assign resource, and I will say remove him. And I will get a warning message. This item has progress reported on it. Do you still want to delete it? Yeah, I want. Okay. When I close, you will see that no work is done, but task is still 50% completed. So it is not way to do it. Why? Why shouldn't you remove resource? Because John worked 16 hours. No matter if she has left the company after that. Who cares? Now, let's undo it. What can I do? I can replace him for the rest of the work with Mary. And that's what I'm going to do. I will say, okay, replace John with Mary. And say, okay. And I will say close. Now, okay. Now Mary should do the rest of the work. Now I'm going to remove John as well. So assign resource, John, remove. Once again, here, John, remove. Once again, you have the progress. Okay, if I remove John, you will see that Mary should work at Wednesday and Thursday, but not on Monday and Tuesday. Why? Because she's not supposed to work on this task. She was not assigned, and the task is 0% completed. So what you should do, you should replace and leave to John as it is, not remove it. But you might ask yourself, but John is not available anymore. So what will happen if I go here and say, go to Gantt chart and say, okay, I have task 2, okay, which will have, let's say, 2 days or 4 days or whatever. Let's say 4 days. And I have this situation. What will happen if I now assign John? Because I didn't remove John. So let's see what will happen. If I assign John here, okay, I will see in the task usage view that John is supposed to work, let me scroll to the task, 8 hours. But John is not available. So I should delete him. No, that is not the way to do. What should you do to make John unavailable without deleting him? So let me show you that. What will I do? What can I do? I can go to view, to resource sheet, and I will put him as maximum availability 0. So now, if I assign John to the task 2, okay, I will get the milestone. Why? So duration will be decreased to 0 days. John is, because John is not available, you should be careful when you assign him. You will see 0%, and you will know that he is not available. But what if I assign Mary to the task, okay, and I want to assign John as well? Let's go to task usage. You will see task 2, scroll to task. Mary is going to work 8 hours per day. And someone say, okay, I will assign John as well. So let's go to details here, and let's say I will assign John. And I will say, okay, you will see that John is not going to work So it is not such a bad situation. John is not going to work. Mary is going to work 8 hours per day, and that's okay. So basically, Mary should work from Friday to Wednesday, and I will assign John, and John is not going to work. But what, for example, if you have this situation, so let me erase everything here. Let's go to Gantt chart. If I have task 1 and task 2, and I have 4 days here and 4 days here, and I know that John is available only in this period for the whole project, from Monday to Thursday, and after that, okay, from Friday to the end of the project, to the end of the world, he is not available. What can I do? How can I make it, let's say, visible and understandable for the user? I will show you that. What will I do? I will go to the resource, okay, here, resource sheet, and I will click on John, and I will say availability. John is available until 20th of April 100%, and from 21st of April till the end of the world, he's available 0%. What will you get here if you assign John here as expected 32 hours? If you put John here as well, you will have 0. Why? Because John is supposed to work 100%, but not in this period, and you will have a 0, and you will see that John is unavailable. But if you use, let me go back here in Gantt chart, okay, and let me deassign John, and let me scroll to the task, and let me put 4 days back. Now once again, if I assign John here, I will get a milestone. But if I assign John via task form and I say John, I will get 32 hours and John will be over allocated. And if I go now to task usage, okay, here, and I go scroll to the task, okay, I will see that John is not over allocated here. So how is it that he's over allocated? So if it seems strange, or let me show you one thing. Let me switch this over. Let's go to resource usage. And then let's go to the John, and you will see that John is over allocated here, but he has 8 hours. So in that case, you will get confused if you don't know where to look at. And where are you going to look at? You are going to look at the resource sheet. You will see, oh, 100%. How can it be over allocated? Don't forget to double click here and see if he is, sorry, my email, if he is over allocated, if his availability is not at that period 100%, but 0%, as it is shown here. So to conclude the story, never ever remove resource. So if resource should be available in some time at some period and not at the other period, then make this resource unavailable in that specific period, like I did here. Come on, open it from 21st of April to the end of the world. This is one thing. And don't forget, there are two approaches. If I assign John here directly, it will take this unavailable 0% from resource sheet. But if I use task form and I assign John, then it will take 100%, but it will show that John is over allocated. So whatever you do, be aware of one thing: never ever remove your resource from your project unless unless you didn't assign it to any task. For example, I have Mary, and let's say that I want to remove her. What can I do? If I can see here, I will go to filter it. I will see no Mary at all, so I can erase her from resource sheet with no harm done. But if I going and erase John, what will happen? If I go to Gantt chart, I will lose them. And be aware, when you remove from resource sheet a resource, that resource, you will not get any warning message. So let me here put Peter and Paula, and in Gantt chart I will assign Paula here and Peter here. Okay? And now I can say this task is 100% done. To get things more complicated, this one is 50% done. And for some reason, someone didn't look at a Gantt chart and didn't see that they are used resource, they are assigned, but instead of that, that person say, I don't need Peter and Paula. Then you will get a message that this item has progress reported on it. It will make more sense if it says this resource has task on it, but however it is, you has been warned, and then you will know that you should be careful if you delete them. But if, for example, those two tasks are 0%, okay, they don't have any report on it, and then if I go back to resource sheet and I want to erase them, I will erase them, and in Gantt chart they will be lost. So a little bit tricky, but be careful, be very extremely careful when you are plan to remove your resource from your project, and my recommendation is don't do it. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.